it's your girl Nae Nae here, and you already saw the title of this video, then you know we're going to be talking about self-care. So we're in some crazy times amidst this still worldwide pandemic, as well as in one of the most crucial times where we are fighting for Black Lives Matter. And at least for me personally, I am just finishing school, but it's still very stressful times, and so I wanted to make this video today to invite you guys to indulge in some self-care with me, not only taking care of our bodies and pampering ourselves, but also focusing on mental self-care and physical self-care. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, but for now I just want to encourage you guys to subscribe down below for more videos. So without further ado, let's get into it. So before I get into talking about my self-care routine, I feel like I have to mention what self-care is supposed to be. It's really misconstrued by media to think that self-care is all about pampering yourself, bubble baths. And while bubble baths can be really relaxing to some people, it isn't this one-time thing that we're supposed to do. Self-care is very widespread and needs to be done daily. So while I'm showing some of the things that I do at night, I'll be explaining why I do these things and other things that can also help you guys that are watching. I used to be a big coffee drinker, but I realized that my body has a bad reaction to caffeine, and so now I drink tea. And now it's actually turned into my favorite go-to when I just want to relax. It's something about making tea that just makes you feel calm, and especially when you're drinking it, you just feel so warm and comfortable. I can't explain it. My favorite tea so far has been the French vanilla black tea, which I love, but because, like I said, it's nighttime, I don't want to be wired and relaxed, I'm gonna drink green tea to stay away from any caffeine, and of course have some honey on the side because you can't have tea without honey. So although this is my nighttime self-care routine, I do want to mention that our diets are a really big part of how stressed we are. I usually try to stay away from caffeine, sugar, and processed foods to keep my body as stress-free as possible. And yes, for this next part, feel free to judge me. I just said, don't eat processed foods and sugar, but there is gonna be times where I cheat, and this just happens to be one of my favorite snacks, but I do not have it often. It's definitely okay to treat yourself, but the key to everything is moderation. So next thing I'll do when I get into my room is I'll light one of my favorite candles. This one's from Bath & Body Works, I believe, and just turn off the harsh lights that are in my room and turn on my little fairy lights, just so I can have a more relaxing atmosphere and just kind of put me in the state of getting into self-care. Once I have my room all relaxing and set up, I'll take some time to just kind of sit with myself and process my day. I'm not really good at sitting still, so I'll usually grab something mindless like my nail file and just do my nails or something like that, so I can take time to go over what I did in my day and kind of talk to myself. Most of the time it won't be out loud, but just to myself. And I'll think about what I've learned in a day or what I can do to improve myself. I found that it's not really important what I talk about, but as long as I have that time to just, spend time away from the constant noise that we have in our lives. Like I've said, we are in some crazy times, and we're constantly bombarded with bad news, like the surmounting death from COVID, or the absurd amount of police brutality, or even just how stressful it is to be in the house all day, especially if you're by yourself. So I really just appreciate this time to kind of be with myself and clear my head in a sense. One thing that I have been learning about is that social media is really designed to make us feel sad, and I have found this especially true if you are a person of color. While we are in this fight to have, just the statement Black Lives Matter, most of us don't realize the trauma we are currently experiencing in the meantime. It's really important for us to see images like the ones of George Floyd, but we don't realize that sometimes these images of police brutality on Black bodies is actually very traumatizing. It's very easy to feel powerless against a system that is designed to work against us, which is really why I love to tap into some empowering music or a podcast that just makes me feel empowered. My favorite podcast right now is actually from one of my best friends. Her name is Selom, and her podcast is called Straight Talk. She named it that because that's exactly how she dishes her truth out, straight. She's very knowledgeable and also gives really good solutions to societal issues. So definitely go check that out in the description below. Highly, highly recommend. Once I've kind of made my peace with myself for the day, I will go ahead and take a nice, relaxing, steaming hot shower. And if it's been a long day, I'll really take my time, and I'm not gonna go into all of the details of my shower because this isn't my shower routine, but I'll really take my time in there and use my special scrubs that I don't usually use and all of that good stuff, and even shave too because I like to take my time with that as well. And after I'm done, I'll usually get into some more comfortable clothes. That's why I'm in my robe, and I usually hang out in that and just kind of finish off my night routine for the day, just taking care of my skin. And usually I would do a hair mask by the time that I get out of the shower, but because my hair is in braids and I'm trying to focus on hair growth, I kind of just left them in there for this video. I do want to mention though that even though I am peppering myself and doing all of that, I'm still kind of going through that mindset, just really checking in with myself mentally through all of this while I am, taking care of my physical body. I'm also still paying attention to my mentality while I'm doing this as well. And again, when I get back into my room, I will light my candle. Now, like I've said, self-care isn't all about pampering, but it can include pampering. For me personally, I like to take care of my physical body as a part of self-care, and the way I do that is with this face mask that I have here and just taking care of my skin. As you guys can probably see, I do suffer a lot from acne, and this face mask is one of the ways that I try and combat it. I've never actually tried this one before, but I did want to have a face mask just on instead of doing another one of a mask that I usually do, just because it's easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on and leave it on for a good 15-30 minutes really. I really like to get all that I can out of my face mask, so I usually leave it on longer than they tell you to. And while I have my face mask off, I'm also gonna take care of my hair by just rubbing some oils in it. Although this is the Drew serum, there is actually just Jamaican black castor oil in there, and so I'm gonna just go ahead and rub it in using the pads of my fingertips, not my fingernails, and just massage my head and work that oil into my scalp. For this part, you see me making these faces because I'm not sure why, but this face mask actually made my lips kind of feel numb in a way. But after that, I pretty much just rubbed whatever was left in the face mask into my skin to kind of absorb all the rest of that. And then I'm gonna move on to my nails. Honestly, I don't know why I chose this color, but I just wanted to have something on my nails, and I forgot that this nail polish has like this weird like black tone to it that makes your nails look dirty, but I had already did one finger, so I wasn't gonna redo all of them.
It was really just because my nails are growing so long and I kind of just wanted to protect them with some nail polish, especially since I can't get my nails done. Not that I really did before like that. Lastly, but certainly not least, one of my favorite practices of self-care that I've been trying to incorporate into my daily habits is reading. Reading is a really good way to kind of just take your mind off of present day things, as I've been saying. And also this book, especially just for me, I found really helpful because it's a book about this woman who's mixed, and she talks about her, experiences being Black in uncomfortable spaces. And for me personally, it's just been something that's really helped me to be able to identify with someone like that. But I'm gonna put that in the description below for anyone who is curious about it. This is the last part of my self-care routine. Thank you for everyone who has stayed to the end of this. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope that you'll subscribe as well to my channel. Go ahead and drop a comment down below on what you do for self-care. Go ahead and drop a comment down below on what you do to practice self-care, and also check the description box for a bunch of other resources that I'm going to be putting in there for you guys. And thanks again for watching.